we don't care who you wanna ship. We're gonna read your fic and we're gonna give it shipwrecked. Ooh, 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 shipwrecked.
Welcome to Shipwrecked, the show where we bring to life the internet's best and worst fanfiction. We are your hosts, Chris, Ryan, and Taneene, and this week we're going to be reading you some bandom, which is the term that I just learned for fanfiction about bands.
Awful.
I don't care for it, personally.
For bandoms or the term bandom?
No, everything about this is dumb.
I didn't realize it was such a
I'm
huge...
actually leaving, guys. I'm gone.
Taneene's protesting this week's episode.
It was the final straw.
Yeah. It's a really big community. It's just not very well organized.
Yeah, they don't have any tags, really.
I mean, they
categories.
do. I just had to dig around to find them. And apparently there's a lot of band-specific fan sites. And also just a lot of this is just on Tumblr. Versus, like, AO3. I guess it all started on LiveJournal, but that's...
Of course it did.
Yeah. It's not really a surprise to anyone, to be sure. Yeah, I don't know, I've never in my life had a desire to write band fanfiction, but maybe I'm missing out.
I mean, it kind of makes sense.
Did we lose Taneene?
Did we?
No, I'm still here, but I'm angry.
Okay, your sound thing just went completely so straight for like a minute.
If we don't hear Taneene, we get worried.
I was like, I'm not sure.
Yeah, she's just... Actually, what I've been doing this whole time is unfriending people on Facebook.
Is it because, like, bandom is reminding you of people you should unfriend?
No, I just was already doing it, and then you guys texted me and were like, hey, are we ever gonna record? And I was like, oops.
Oops.
I was actually also thinking about going through my Facebook and unfriending people, but I decided it was a lot more work than I wanted to do.
I'm sure I can afford to lose, like, probably 90% of these people. I think I only have, like, I think I only speak to, like, 30 people.
Why are we all just gonna delete Facebook and just only use Instagram?
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. They're owned by the same company.
I know that, but, like, Instagram is just so much less pressure.
Is it though?
I think it's just because our parents are on Instagram.
Because I don't get to shitpost the right way on Instagram.
Tell me where everyone's birthday is. And, like, remind me I haven't talked to someone in a while.
Yeah, that's always really annoying. Like, so-and-so posted for the first time in a while. Like their post. And I was like, in fact, this is reminding me to delete them. Thank you. Basically, it got to a point on Facebook where anytime I would get a notification that it was someone's birthday, I would delete them as a birthday gift to them.
I did the same thing back when game requests were a thing. If I ever got game requests, I'd just delete someone.
Yep, that's real.
Yeah. Oh, you want to play a game with me, Ryan? Never again. Delete.
Never.
Nope.
So, I guess we discovered when looking at all of this fanfiction that most of it is either My Chemical Romance, Green Day, Panic at the Disco, Fall Out Boy, and then you've got, like, in the other vein, like the One Direction, Justin Bieber, Taylor Swift kind of stuff.
Well, basically anything a 13-year-old would enjoy is what the 13-year-olds are writing about. It's not like they're writing about fucking Donna Summer, having an orgy with the Bee Gees. Could you imagine?
But it's not entirely
It'll be called
true.
Heaven Knows, and then all the different chapters would just be like alternating chapter titles with like songs that they, it's like Chapter 1, Saturday Night Fever. And it was like, Donna Summer was going out that night and she needed to get laid with a capital L. Oh no, guys. Oh no, guys.
If you don't write me this fanfiction right now, then we're not friends anymore. And then second of all, it's like we have two different eras of 13-year-olds. Because we have all this stuff that was like written when we were 13-year-olds.
Yes,
and now
the new 13.
Are still writing, so...
Yeah, mine was written 5 years ago, so...
Oh, Oh, that's a good
Ooh, when
question.
was mine written? Hang on. Mine was completed
2013.
May 15th, 2015, and it was published on December 2014.
Yeah. 2013. Oof.
I finally found the Blink-182 fan fiction that I was looking for. It's not very good. I'm probably going to stick with mine.
Is that the one that you wrote yourself?
Yeah, I just have a big thing about Tom DeLonge and Mark Hoppus.
Yeah. You do though.
Hello there,
It's
the
just
angel
so
of my
angst.
nightmare indeed.
No, I want someone to read an entire fan fiction in Tom's voice.
Yes.
That's actually a huge missed opportunity. I'm like upset that I don't have a Blink fanfic.
There's not as much like hurt comfort as I would have thought.
For Blink, where are you?
Yeah, it's like all Tom's whole thing is just being very angsty.
Same.
This is dark.
Oh, is it? Is there at one point will they have a fight and then he slams the door and he goes, "You know what? I wrote all the small things about your dick." Fan fight.
This one's just smut with Tom and Mark plastered on top of it.
Please kick us off with this shit.
Yeah, that's what I want.
You want?
Fuck
It's
me up.
not very good.
Okay, but when was the first time you ever listened to Blink-182? Like how? When was
I
it?
think my brother got a burnt CD of "Take Off Your Pants and Jacket," and so a lot
Not
of
even
those
Enema
probably,
of the State. They had Take
No,
Off Your
that- my
Pants and
first-
Jacket.
That was my
Holy-
first one.
Ah.
Pretty
I don't know. I was probably in like middle school.
that I first heard all the small things in like the end credits of a movie
Okay.
as a child. That's probably was my first experience with Blink-182.
Where
My-
were you when you heard Blink?
My friend's older brother, he was like, I think 4 years older than us. He had the Enema of the State album and he would listen to it all the time and sing along, and so that's where I heard a lot of Blink-182. That's like how I found out about them. And then my mom was like super obsessed with music videos when we were kids. Well, she still is, but like we used to have MTV playing like all day in the house. So I saw that
Amazing.
All the Small Things video like a lot of times.
I'm trying to figure out if All the Small Things was in the Digimon movie soundtrack.
Why would it be in the Digimon movie? That doesn't make sense.
I don't know. I just remember the Digimon movie soundtrack being lit.
Yeah. See, I remember Clock Stoppers using First
Whoa.
Date as their trailer music.
Oops, sorry. All-Star was in the Digimon movie
Of
soundtrack.
course it
Is it
was.
because wait, did this
It's-
come out before or after Shrek?
No, guys, wait. Can I read you some of the tracks off of this? This is amazing. Okay, we have All-Star. We have Kids in America.
Oh no.
We have 1 Week.
Digimon.
We have 1 Week by the Bare Naked Ladies.
Naked Ladies?
And then we have the impression that I get from the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. I am
Oh,
like,
no.
this is. Then we have a Less Than Jake song. All my best friends are metalheads. What?
This is Digimon?
This is
Digital
Digimon.
Monsters?
There's a
Digimon
fat.
Digital Monsters.
There's a Fat Boy Slim song on here. The Rockefeller Skank.
Of course there is.
I am no. Oh man. Okay. Well, I was misled, but I feel like All the Small Things would have fit in well on this amazing soundtrack that I am downloading right now. And then there was obviously the Digirap. Digimon, Digital Monsters. So this was 2000. So this was before Shrek, right?
Amazing. If only it wasn't a shitty movie too.
No, it was an amazing movie. Don't even talk to me about it. I love Digimon.
Next week we're doing 2000 Digimon fan.
We're gonna do Digimon
Digimon fic.
Digimon
Digific.
fanfiction.
Digific.
Yep. Digific. Ugh.
Have
Alright,
we
so I'm
ever-
actually changing my fic to this Blink one that I just found because
Okay.
I get to use my Tom voice.
Okay, dude. Tom, the whole
It's not
thing.
very good, but I'm
No,
still
it's
excited
not.
about
Can
it.
I ask a really quick question though?
Yeah.
You know, avid listeners of our show, have we ever delivered on a promise when we yell next week's episode is blank? Have we ever
No.
actually done that?
I know we've promised that we would do Shrek I think we promised we would do, like, Buffy. I think we promised we would do...
I think Charmed was the only one that we ever delivered on.
And it was awful.
Didn't we say we were going to do band fanfiction at some point? Or was
I think
that
so.
Yeah.
Maybe not. That might have been off air.
But maybe that might have been a few episodes ago. And
I feel like that was on the crossover episode we were talking about
we
band
still
fiction.
haven't done Pokemon.
Were we supposed to do Pokemon Fix?
And we're gonna... Well, we have a long list of everything we're supposed to do.
We have a spreadsheet that we don't use, also.
Oh, yeah, and I'm the only one who updates it, so you don't need to tell me.
I didn't know. But if you're in the back, gotta go updates right now.
Oops.
Alright, well,
sorry, Ryan.
Tom, Nick, please.
Okay. This one's called Tommy.
Swami.
And the summary is, Tom doesn't hate nicknames, but he does hate one particular one. Notes. After the summary, of course. I did not think I was going to like this ship, but whoops, it makes me cry, bye. Sorry for the big gap in writing, school got shitty, Lamau. This is probably set around Dude Ranch or Enema, because that's just how it makes sense in my head. Hope y'all enjoy. Amazing.
Is that the whole fic?
No, that's the author note.
Oh.
Yeah, that was good. Didn't you like it? That's my Tom
that's
voice.
It's done.
I'm like, that's your Tom voice, really? Okay.
Haha, fuck you, Tommy. Seriously. Tom's ears perked up at the nickname. Not out of excitement, but out of pure annoyance. Mark, shut the fuck up. Tom mumbled, playing around with the strings on his guitar as he looked down, shuffled his feet. He added a near inaudible whisper. Don't call me fucking Tommy either, man. I'm not some 4-year-old. Was that Tommy?
I'm not some 4-year-old.
What was that, Tommy? Mark gave a smirk to the front man, playing a bass line along with Tom's unguided strumming, seeping smugness and spewing out the exact knowledge that he had about what he was doing. What? You don't like nicknames, Thomas? Tom, Tommy, Tom Slice, Tom Soup, Timmy, Tommy. Timmy is short for Timothy,
Tom
Nimrod.
Soup.
Tom Soup. Tom mumbled to the floor again, annoyance pickling up in his toes. I like nicknames. I just don't fucking like Tommy. It's for a kid. Tommy is something you would call your little sport or some shit, not your bandmate. Dude, Tommy's a fucking cute-ass nickname, admit it. Mark took a territorial step towards Tom, still mindlessly strumming at his bass. Fingers dancing all over and over just an open G string, making a steady and annoying beat.
What? An open G string?
What's
There's
an
not-
open G string? What does that even mean? Where does that even come in? Is that just...
No, they're both like noodling around other instruments in this fic.
Yeah, but do they have to use the phrase
Oh!
open G string?
I think
Like,
that's just the highest string on a bass, but yeah.
yeah, but why is it open? How is the string open?
Oh, that's
'Cause
just what you
it's
call
their
it when
G
you don't
string.
have a finger on it.
Oh.
Yeah, so if you're just playing it unfretted, it's called open.
I'm like,
FYI, I'm
thinking.
thinking of underpants.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, psh, open G string.
Well, I mean, maybe he is fingering his open G string then.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I mean-
It's a little double entendre.
That
No.
was definitely a 1997, like a Green Day circa 97 touring thing that, what's his name, Billy Joe Armstrong would come out on stage on a leopard G-string.
Amazing.
That was
What?
definitely, and then that was back when Blink-182 was touring with Green Day.
When I saw Green Day in their American Idiot tour, he stuck his hand down his pants.
Oh yeah, that was kind of a later thing, is he would quote unquote jerk off on stage.
Amazing.
But I mean, he in like 1993, he would show up on stage naked, and then he got arrested for indecent exposure in like some bullshit state like Ohio or something.
Ohio is a bullshit state.
Okay, but wouldn't you love to see him being dragged naked off stage from a show? By the cops?
Billy Joe Armstrong?
Yeah.
1993 era Billy Joe Armstrong. So this was like, I mean, I would say
I'm mostly upset that
94.
you're not reading a Green Day fic.
Okay, so this would be around when Dookie was released. So
Dookie.
he was still like too
Dookie.
young. I don't know. I feel like he didn't really come into his own face and looks until about 2004 to begin with, in his like 30s, when he was just kind of like calmed down. I'm sorry, I used to be really, really into Green Day when I was younger, and all these information
She's not exaggerating. One time she cut out a bunch of things from a magazine and made a collage of Billy's face.
Amazing.
It was actually really well done.
When was this? Oh my shit! No, this wasn't a collage of Billy's face. I made a portrait of his face using pieces of magazines to like create like a mosaic.
It was like a collage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I do that all the time. That's like so much fun. I made one of the Joker.
You made a Jack Sparrow one, I think, too.
I made a Jack Sparrow one. I was gonna do one of Dexter, and I have the drawing still. It's from like college, but I couldn't find anything good to like make his like stubble
you
look
have
right.
photos
So I never.
of it. We
finished
should
it.
post it to the Twitter because it's like.
It's old.
something.
I made it when I was like 13, 14.
No, it was good. It was
Like,
really
goofy
good.
looking,
No, it's good.
but
Very talented.
oh my god. That's right.
Anyway, sorry, we've interrupted your fic.
I'm
It
so
was
sorry.
really good. I was having a great
open
time.
G-string.
The open G-string really derailed us there.
Tommy's not a kid's nickname, man. Tommy Wiseau, Tommy Lee Jones,
Tommy
Chong.
Wiseau!
For fuck's sake, fucking Chong from Cheech and Chong goes by Tommy. Mark took another step, still strumming in a constant beat. All those dudes are fucking ugly, old as shit, look like pedos themselves. Point proven, Tommy's a dumb nickname. Tom strode forward, facing Mark with inches between them, both still strumming their annoying tones. I just like that they're both actively, aggressively playing guitar as this whole thing happens. Mark whispered now, his breath hot and strangely tingly on Thomas' face. Liar, you said you had a fucking crush on Chong once. I remember that. You said it right to my face. Mark moved his face centimeters from Tom's and spoke through his teeth. Fucking admit it, Tommy is a cute nickname, especially because you hate it. Something hung in the air for a split second. Wow, that split second felt like an eternity. Tom finally stopped his strumming, eyed Mark for a millisecond before he practically jumped forward, closing his eyes tight and colliding his lips with Mark's in a messy, harsh, and fucking mind-blowing kiss. Tom finally heard Mark's annoying bass line stop, and he smirked. Tom really didn't want to pull back, but it was worth it to see Mark's dopey kiss-drunk, still closed eyes, face trying to trail after his own to catch another, that, whatever it was. Whatever you say, Marky, Marker, Marcus. Mark's eyes furrowed one last time. Marcus Auriferous. Marxus. I'm trying. It's. Tom gave Mark a large, shit-eating grin and continued his mindless plucking. Mark groaned. Fuck you, Tommy. Seriously. The end.
2 out of 10 Tommies.
How about Tom Soups?
Okay, 10 out of 10 Tom Soups.
10 out of 10 Tom Soups.
I don't understand any of that fic, but I also wasn't listening, but I also don't understand it.
I feel like one of those has more to do with it than anything else.
I don't know. I didn't realize Marky Mark was in that fic. So...
Tommy Wiseau.
Tommy Wiseau.
I love that they brought that up.
Yeah. That one was written in 2017.
Of course it was.
Which is after they broke up, so.
Yeah, which is extra weird.
Are they still broken up?
I mean, yeah, Tom.
They should stay apart.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And they brought in Matt Skiba.
What is a Matt Skiba? Is that a sandwich?
What is a Matt?
He's in Alkaline Trio.
Oh.
And now it's actually impossible to tell their two voices apart.
That's rough.
Anyway.
Huh.
Who wants to go next?
You go, Taneene. It's all
Ready?
you.
Alright. This is called Wild and Unruly.
Same.
No.
I picked it because typically I don't necessarily agree with real person shipping, but I figured this is so far and away out of character and out of place for everyone involved that I'm just reading it as if It is played by people who happen to have the same names as these band members, and they may casually, occasionally resemble them in a little way, but otherwise no other relation at all, so I don't feel as bad. So, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Alright, it's a One Direction fan fiction. I don't even want to read you the summary. I don't know. Should I read the summary? Yes or no, guys?
All
I'm gonna
right.
go with no. I want to be surprised.
Alright. As you should be. There were cattle in the road. When Louis had arrived at work that morning in his slim tailored suit and too expensive Taneene Crisky loafers, mocha venti in hand, as he pushed through the revolving door of a shiny glass office building in downtown Denver, he hadn't expected that his day would end in cattle. But then he ran into his boss, fresh from a high-level meeting, and the wheels of his destiny had begun to turn. "You take care of it, Malik," Zane had muttered. "That's what they said, as if I can spare a paralegal." Louis made sympathetic noises as he finished typing up a contract. Zayn Malik was both Louis's boss and his best friend, the most junior associate in Ann Twist's seemingly endless fleet of unfairly attractive corporate lawyers, and he was a constant grump. Not to mention the most beautiful man most people were likely to run into on any given day, all cold dark eyes and cut cheekbones, which tended to result in Louis feeling a little bit invisible whenever they were out together. He compensated by being loud. Send Nick!
Same.
Louis shrugged. "Get him out of my hair for a while." Zane rolled his eyes, letting the corner of his mouth twitch up into a smile. "Nick's not so bad, Louis. He started a week before me, and he thinks that gives him the right to order me around." "Send him away!" Louis made a shooing motion. "Let him commune with nature. Maybe it'll change him." Louis's nose wrinkled involuntarily at the word nature. He was comfortably cosmopolitan by choice, and intended to stay that way. No mud and fertilizer for him, thanks. Nick could go roll in it. "He's really not that bad," Zane chuckled. Always the diplomat, Zane. But he had signed the job to Nick in the end, telling him to go home and pack a bag after booking him a last-minute flight to Sheridan, Wyoming. There was oil in the ground, apparently. National Energy Group, one of Twiz Corp's largest subsidiaries, was buying up the mineral rights to parcels of land from several cattle ranches out near the Bighorns, and have run into an unexpected hiccup. See what I'm saying, guys? Like, this has nothing to do with a bunch of British guys at all.
Super confused.
Is this like a political drama?
Like, I am listening, and I am so confused.
Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna skip over some of the stuff. But anyway, they're saying
The exposition?
basically what they need the owner of the land to sign off on this sale, because it's $2.3 billion basically to get of all the, it's all this like oil. And so the woman,
One Direction.
I don't want to fucking hear it, guys. This is my fic. So Ann Twist, the boss, she's like, "Oh, it's my son who owns the land. I need you to go get the signature." "So, this is your man," Zane said, reaching up to clap Nick on the back. "He'll have the deed signed and notarized by tomorrow or Thursday at the..." "No." And Anne's eyes narrowed on Louis as though she were working out a complicated chess problem. "Send the cute one." So then, here
Owie.
he is. He's in Wyoming. This is Louis. No, not Owie. Louis's the cute one. He was always the cutest. Anyway, he goes. So, he has landed in Wyoming. Plus, there were cattle in the road. Of course, cattle. About 15 head standing rocks still in the road, blocking his compact rental car. And a man sitting on a horse in the middle of it, just sitting and staring thoughtfully at the herd, apparently unconcerned with how it was holding up traffic. Not that there was much traffic out here. Only Louis, really. But he needed to get to Ann's son's ranch and get a signature so he can get back to Denver. Back to civilization. It should have been Nick, he thought darkly as he rolled down his window. He's always been a bit of a cow. "Excuse me," he called, gesturing to the man on the horse. "Hello? Can you move?" The man turned to him, slightly startled, as if he only just realized there was a car. He blinked, and a part of Louis's brain registered big green eyes and red, wind-chapped lips. "Excuse me? Can you move your cows?" Louis waved his hands in a slightly hysterical manner that he instantly regretted as he stared into the impassive face of the cowboy. Cowman. He was definitely a man, Louis realized with a delayed lurch into his gut.
Oh, yeah.
His eyes were big and probably had been boyish once, but there were creases beginning to settle in around them. Marks of the sun, the wind, open expanse of the Great Plains. His skin was tanned dark in the oncoming dusk. His jaw strong and set. His gaze was hard and he had broad shoulders. I need to get through, Louis explained, and the man didn't respond. You have to move your cattle. The man blinked at him again. He reached up, took off his hat, and ran a tough brown hand through the hair that curled at the nape of his neck, a faint chuckle escaping him, as though Louis' request was patently ridiculous.
Same.
How do you expect me to do that? Well, Louis pushed air out of his throat in a peeved grunt. Can't you just, encourage them? He demonstrated by giving the driver's side door a little swat. The man looked even more unimpressed. I don't hit my cows.
What?
And so, anyway, he basically has this whole fucking showdown with this guy, and he's, annoying the shit out of him. And, let's see, what is he talking about? So then Louis is, fucking over it. He's honked his horn, he's honked his car at, the cows or whatever. And so he goes, Louis wasn't intimidating. Look, darling, he said, tossing his head back in a defiantly flamboyant gesture. I'm about 3 hours late to an important business meeting, so if you could just take a moment and clear a path for me on the public road you're blocking, I'd appreciate it. He fluttered his eyelashes. It was a calculated risk. Straight guys, in Louis' experience, tend to be overly sensitive, especially the masculine ones. They'd usually back off rather than stay to be flirted with. Louis was pretty sure what this one would do, unless he was the violent type. He said he wouldn't hit his cattle, Louis reasoned. Well, if worse came to worse, he could jam his car into reverse and make a quick U-turn. So now he's half flirting with him. So he's like, you're upsetting the cows. Oh, I'm upsetting the cows, am I? Not as much as they're upsetting me. I like them to have a sense of autonomy, the man said. They'll move when they move. A bovine psychologist. I'm talking to a fucking bovine psychologist.
My new Twitter handle. You can at me at bovine psychologist.
So then he just basically gets to the house. Eventually the cows move. He gets over there. He encounters a donkey that is kind of like a dog named Bonnie. And he gets back to the house. And they're like, oh, Harry's not back yet. He went out to move some cattle. Wink, wink. And then the guy shows up. And it's like, ah, shit. It's Mr. Man with the oil from the cow earlier saying. That wasn't English. I'm sorry. But yeah, so then the whole plot of the story is that he's like, I need you to sign this thing. And he's like, I'm not going to sign it. And then he's like, well, my boss told me I have to stay with you until you sign it. And he goes, okay, well, then you're going to be here for a while. And I haven't read the rest of it, but I'm pretty sure they bone.
That's a safe
I hope
assumption.
so.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I'm saying no part of this fic makes any sense. Why are they in Wyoming?
It's a very elaborate premise.
It's
I feel
so bizarre.
Hey,
Also,
I
really like defiantly flamboyant.
That's right.
I really like how this is not like a trope, though. This is like its whole own thing.
This is its own. Well, to be fair though, not to be fair, actually. This is one of the things that I dislike the most with these kind of fics, where it's so far and away from the concept that draws you to it initially that after a while you're basically just writing a script. Basically you're creating a film where people who look like the characters that you like are in it, because there's nothing else that's keeping them based in that reality that you enjoy them in. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's, at a certain point though, it's just like an original
exactly
story.
This is basically an original story with people who just happen to be called Louis and Harry.
They were just like, hey, can't think of any names for these characters right now. Just gonna throw in the names of the One Direction band, and then I'll find replace when I actually name my characters later.
So this is all actually reminding me of how I think it was in 8th or 9th grade we had to write a short story, and I just named all my characters after Linkin Park band members.
No!
You know, it's really dark and angsty
If
fic
you
too.
find this,
Do you have
need
it?
to read
Yeah,
No,
I
it's
read
it's
it.
like 2 or 3 computers ago, 10, 13 years ago. It's gone.
I think
Thank
that's
goodness.
We should find that.
We'll find it.
But like Chester Bennington was the main character. There was like Mike Shinoda doing stuff in it too. It was about vampires, I think. I don't really remember what the assignment
This
was.
is everything I've wanted and more.
So I
believe
inadvertently
it.
wrote fan fiction for Linkin Park when I was like 10 or 12, which is right, honestly.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, it's all coming back to me. It was dark.
I would pay good money to have a copy of that.
Luckily, it's also gone forever.
Nope.
That's what you say.
That's what you think.
I'm pretty
Nothing's
sure it was
gone
before
forever.
turnitin.com was a thing. So that's
I'm gonna find
gone.
it. I'm gonna email all your teachers until I get a copy of it.
Please, that's what I want. Just
The
find
teachers
out all
are
my
cool.
English teachers.
Yeah, I'll email them and just be like, hey, I know this is a weird question, but do you have a Linkin Park fanfic, you know, circa whatever, 2003?
I was in 3rd grade in 2003.
Okay, well, I forget that you are a young child.
I was barely writing paragraphs at that time.
Wait, how old are you again?
I'm 23.
23.
Oh yeah, whoops.
Yeah. He wasn't even 13 yet when all the 13-year-olds were writing these fics, okay?
Oh Lord.
My fic was written in 2017. So
Oh
excuse
no,
you.
he was in the 4th grade.
Ooh.
We could've
I'm just gonna
killed him.
leave if we're just making fun of me.
No, it's good, it's good. Alright, I got a hot fic for you guys.
Sorry, mine
Please.
wasn't juicier, guys.
No,
It was amazing.
It just
Cattle
didn't make
farmer,
any.
AU.
Actually, by the way, let me read you the summary really quick now that it's in. This is how I got into it. It says Harry is a cowboy sitting on the biggest oil reservoir in Wyoming, and Louis is the paralegal assigned to pressure him into selling his land. And I was like, what?
Honestly, when you said you were gonna read a One Direction fic, I was convinced it was gonna be Harry Styles and the Chamber of Secrets or something like that.
Oh yeah,
Like,
surprise Harry Potter.
Harry Potter, but it's Harry Styles. Anyway.
That's
Um,
that's the beauty of surprise Harry Potter, guys. You never know.
Never know when it's gonna
You
happen.
can never expect it correctly.
Yeah. Okay, this one is it's a My Chemical Romance fic. You know, it's a standard.
Standard.
It's the ship is like the My Chemical Romance ship. It's Gerard and Frank.
Oh, Ferrard. I saw a few of those.
Gerard fic. It's called Mr. Fucking Pro Bowler to You.
Same.
That's right.
The summary is Gerard asks Frank on a date. That's his first mistake. Alright. I need a moment to get into character. So, here we go. Oh god, why did I even ask you out? Frank beams as he's given his ass a wiggle, still walking in the parking lot of the bowling place. Because you thought I was hot? I thought you were cute, Gerard deadpans his correction. He holds the entrance door open for Frank like a gentleman, and Frank smiles faintly. There's a difference. Frank loses his smile and becomes a huffy, I'm not cute, the 18-year-old mumbles, with a pout, crossing his arms over his chest. Gerard snorts with a light little "suke." Gerard thought bowling would be the What?
Oh, you said, oh, it's okay. I was hearing it like, Bill, like, suke. And I was like,
No.
what is this
No, that's how
group?
it's written. That's how it's written out. Is suke. Not it's okay. Suke. Alright, Gerard thought bowling would be the perfect first date for him and Frank. Seeing how Frank was a cute 5'4" and pretty fucking puny, even with those underage tattoos and lip and nose piercing, Gerard would win, no problem. Frank and Gerard met through mutual friends. Bob Breyer, the fucking dumb fuck, thought it would be a fucking smart idea to prank his kid brother Mikey at school. The prank went perfectly. Ever water balloon had made a direct headshot and even earned a lot of this fic doesn't make sense, just to premise that. Earned a I will get you back, stupid ass, They parted ways when Gerard made a safe getaway and Bob was captured in a giggly headlock.
Giggly headlock.
Giggly headlock. Gerard wasn't looking where he was going. He just ran as fast as his 20-year-old body would take him. So they're supposed to be in high school in this fic, to clarify it, but Gerard is 20 and Frank is 18, so I'm not sure what's going on. He barreled forward blindly and knocked someone down in the process. He stumbled backwards but caught his balance, watching the kid in front of him fall on his ass and books spill in every direction. "Watch where you're fucking going," the kid had said, stern and low. His face softened once he looked up at Gerard with his sparkly green eyes. He blushed a bit as Gerard helped him up. Gerard quickly apologized to the boy, and the boy accepted it with red cheeks and introduced himself. Gerard did always, and they began talking. They spoke about music, school, and society. Anything you could imagine in the middle of the hallway. They spoke until the bell rung for class, and Gerard was quickly saddened that his new friend had to leave already. He liked Frank, the dude was cool, and Frank seemed to like Gerard within the time that they had spoke in the hallway. Gerard had walked Frank to class, and the 18-year-old had been the conversation ender.
Same.
Hey, it's me, I am the conversation ender. You just knocked me to the ground back there. He had stated the obvious when Gerard asked him out, but accepted nonetheless, and he left Gerard with a goodbye, a small waggle of his fingers, and a goofy smile that stuck on Gerard's lips for the next hour. Now a few weeks and a couple of unexpected run-ins and a bunch of flirtatious text message later, they were back at some rundown bowling alley that Gerard had found when trying to find a place for decent ice cream. He thought it would be the perfect place. The inside was a classic bowling alley. Greasy bowling balls and the faint smell of pizza in the air made Gerard's mouth water as he walked through the doors.
More.
What is this thing?
I need more.
Gerard.
Greasy bowling balls. Wash your fucking hands, Americans.
I just love that description. Gerard hadn't been bowling in fucking years, but there was one thing he could remember about the activity. "I must warn you," Gerard said haughtily while him and Frank out on the bowling shoes. He sits up, straightens and broadens his shoulders, smirking at the younger boy. "I'm a fucking bowling badass."
Fucking same, dude.
Frank just smiles goofily. "That's cool," he says jauntily. Gerard slumps forward again, narrowing his eyes at the boy. He was a bit confused on why the statement got that reaction. Was Frank that sure of himself? Did he just not care? Either way, Gerard was certain he would win this. "Wanna make a bet?" Frank looks over at the 20-year-old, now intrigued. He let a sly grin slip over his lips as his eyes twinkled. "What kind of bet?" "If you win in bowling, you can have whatever you..." "A slushie! I want a slushie if I win!" Frank perks up, letting his jaw drop and his eyes widen. Gerard keeps his mouth open, but stops talking, because what the fuck? When he does start talking, he corrects himself. "Okay, you can have a slushie if you win, but if I..." Gerard smirks over at the boy, placing his arm around Frank's chair.
Smirking. I don't care for this shit.
I know. It's like Draco Malfoy wrote this fic.
Ah.
You're coming.
Oh man, that's my new headcanon about this fic.
You're coming home with me tonight.
Oh my god.
Frank looks
This is
all. Yep.
We need to write an AU where Draco goes home to stay with his Muggle relatives for the summer for some bizarre reason, discovers Muggle music, and starts writing fan fiction.
Please.
No, I think it's right.
Guys, next week it's handwritten fan fiction because I'm writing the Donna Summer Bee Gees orgy fic. You're reading the Draco Malfoy nonsense, and Ryan, you're recreating your Linkin Park fic.
It's dark, guys.
It's good. I think it's what we need.
Handwritten fan fiction from your
Faves.
OT3. Okay, sorry. Keep going.
No, it's all good. Alright, so Gerard smirks over at the boy, placing his arm around Frank's chair. "You're coming home with me tonight." Sorry, that wasn't the right voice.
That was
"You're coming home with me tonight." Frank looks all but confused at Gerard's arm that was at least 6 or 7 centimeters away from him, and Gerard's wolfish smile that made him a bit uncomfortable. "Why?" he questions, wincing. "So you can fuck me?" Gerard chokes on nothing, because in theory, that's kind of what he meant. But he didn't think Frank would get it and say it so goddamn loud. The older of the two just felt like he had to put on a show to entertain all of the eyes that were looking at them. Gerard looks over at Frank, trying to cover his deer in headlights look with an awkward smile. "We can do whatever you want, dude. You got a deal?" Frank just grabs Gerard's hand and shakes it with that same stupid grin that makes Gerard's stomach flip.
Please.
There's a break. Do you want more of this, or do you want me to quit there?
Oh gosh, I honestly have no idea.
I love it.
I'm
Keep
having a
going.
great
Fuck me,
time. Alright.
girlfriend.
Gerard didn't believe his eyes as he looked up at the scoreboard. No, he serious didn't fucking believe his eyes. He had to ask the little girl in the alley beside his if he was hallucinating. Or was Frank fucking beating him at his own gate? So first of all here, I don't know why there's a little girl in the alley.
It's the self-insert.
Yeah. It's just rough. It's rough. Gerard had teased Frank about needing the bumpers at the beginning of the game, but now Gerard was too embarrassed to ask for it. Frank got a strike on his last go, turning around to Gerard, going, "I think I want a blue slushie. Maybe a green." He skipped by Gerard with a giggle. Gerard grabbed the ball. He held it between his hands, trying to resist the urge to break the ball in half. He had enough rage to do so. There was no way he could win now. He was 30 points behind, but he wanted to make his last throw good. Gerard threw his first last throw and watched it immediately went into the gutter. He heard Frank giggle from behind him as he rehearsed every swear word that he knew in his head. He jogged forward and let go of the ball. Watching as it rolled down the alley, Gerard felt his eyes widen as it went straight for the middle pin, most likely going to cause a strike. His anticipation went overboard as the strike became closer and closer and closer, but it didn't come.
Neither am I.
He let his jaw drop when the ball was literally millimeters away, swerved to the side, and landed in the gutter. He didn't even hear Frank fall to the ground with laughter as he threw his hands in the air. "What the fucking fuck is this fucking shit?" he exclaimed, mouth wide open, and looked around like a madman. Gerard didn't even care if the people covered their children's ears and have him dirty looks. Eventually Frank got off the ground. Gerard put his hand down. He stared motionless at the large game over winner, Frank, on the scoreboard. At least not until Frank dragged him away for his slushie. Gerard kept his end of the deal, buying Frank a large pink slushie. I don't think I've ever seen a pink slushie before.
My immersion's ruined.
Who's the gay cousin? I feel
Yeah,
like
I think
I'm hearing
Taneene's
some
talking to
juicy
someone else
drama
right now.
about Taneene's. Yeah.
Rude.
Recording a podcast. Hang on, I gotta finish recording my podcast before
I
I.
need to know who the gay cousin is, though. Who's the gay cousin?
Honestly, though, if you don't have a gay cousin, you're the gay cousin.
Damn it!
It's okay.
That's the constant. That's the. Dude, my dad just got off a plane. He showed up holding a fucking red Solo cup.
Lemonade we bought for $1 from
Um,
Street.
No,
Mom never let us have a fucking lemonade stand.
because mom doesn't believe in capitalism.
Amazing.
So he's has a solo cup?
No, I'm
So-
sorry, guys. My family has interrupted this podcast.
No, it's okay. Honestly,
No. The I don't know. They just come back and we're talking. And I was like, so and so got drunk, and like this guy got drunk, and I was like, I don't know.
So Chris, do they fuck in the end?
Or does he not come?
yes. Do you want me to skip to the fucking
Yeah.
part?
Skip to the fuck.
Skip to the fuck.
Okay, hold on.
Way to bury the lead.
Okay. Frank giggles as his hands travel up and his wrists lock around Gerard's neck. He leans in, he kisses Gerard again, tasting pizza, cigarettes, and the faint bitterness of mint toothpaste. Gerard rubs his palms over the 18-year-old's arms. First of all, it creeps me out, like, how often they mention the name. I mean, the age, yeah. He rubs his palms over the 18-year-old's arms, lowering them to the small of his back. Their noses were pleasantly awkward. The sounds that Frank was making were fulfilling, and fuck, Gerard had been waiting weeks for this. He grabbed the door handle. He quickly closed the car door. His hands were at Frank's hips now, digging his blunt nails into the fleshy bits. The younger one gasped, letting Gerard's tongue invade his mouth. Gerard's taste was strong and overwhelming, and Frank's anticipation was past his limit. Gerard spread his legs so that Frank could climb in between them and get a better angle. His knees knocked together and rubbed up against the forming... No, just this typo is really good. I think it's supposed to say bulge, but instead it says bugle. The forming bugle on Gerard's pants. The forming bugle. No, wait a second. The next line is really good. The sound surprised Frank, but he continued
Yo, it's definitely
kiss.
bugle, my dude. That is not a typo.
But he continued to kiss like his life depended on it. Their tongues rolled around, dancing freely in the warmth of each other. They fought for the dominance of each other's mouths, knocking teeth and exchanging giggles. Gerard let his hands slip further until they fit perfectly into Frank's back pockets. He squeezed a bit, eating the moans that were produced hungrily. The next time he squeezes Frank's ass,
Wait,
it's harder.
He ate
His
more?
ass. I don't know why Frank's ass is
playing the
getting
meat
hard.
All the blood is rushing to his butt. Oh, my butt is getting so hard.
Frank yelps, and Gerard's mouth slips down his jaw. The 20-year-old leans up, again with the age thing, rubbing his hips against Frank's. Their erections rubbed together, and Frank moaned louder than Gerard thought. He giggled, and Frank just gave him a grumpy face. Gerard uses his hips to apply pressure to both of their hard-ons. He rocked his hips against Frank's bugle and grabbed his ass and kissed his necks. And Frank was going to burst. Gerard sucked on the side of Frank's neck, biting down on the flesh. He suckles the skin, pulls on it with his teeth. He pulls back and admires the blossoming bruise, his own work of art. Gerard's hands go anywhere they can touch, from Frank's neck to his chest to his crotch and his ass. Frank's making so many noises it's hard to keep count. Gerard resorted to sucking on Frank's collarbone and rubbing himself off on Frank's leg. Frank chokes out, pushing the older man's head against his clavicle and leaning his larger hand up his leg. Please, touch me. Gerard gets the message quickly, spiking his hand up to feel the tent in Frank's jeans. He hisses when Gerard applies pressure to his boner, falling against him in desperation. Gerard digs the heels of his palm into him, groping him through the rough material. And then Frank moans loudly, and he bucks his hips into Gerard's hands. He can feel... Okay, I'm trying to find the next really good description.
I'm just gonna be crying about bugle.
I'm only ever gonna refer to dicks as that. Be like, what a bugle.
Yeah, is your ass getting hard?
Play me that mezcal, baby.
Okay, so I'm gonna skip the rest of it, and I'm gonna...
Oh my god, this is great. I want to refer to them as bugles, and I'll be like, oh baby, do that thing I like, and they'll be like, oh yeah, and then he's gonna play the Cantina Band song with his dick, and I'll be like,
right.
oh, my ass is getting so hard.
Okay. Yes, well, you may not be very good at bowling, but you are very good at other things. Frank's blushing like a madman, and Gerard giggles because fucking teenagers,
No.
man. Yep.
Because they scare the living shit out of him.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
Well,
I feel like the person who wrote this is probably a fucking
Yeah.
teenager.
She's probably 17, and
This is actually an archive of our own fic. I know that surprises all of our listeners that I would read something from there. The author is Donkey. It's all canceled.
Yep.
It's
Well,
canceled.
okay, play us out, Chris. We're done. We're all dying. Thank you. The only man here with a bugle in his pants.
Just do the thing.
Thanks. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Shipwrecked. If you have any comments, concerns, tweet us at Shipwreckcast or visit our website at shipwreckpodcast.com.